Oh, look at this pleasant surprise we got. I see tree branches, and it was snowing pretty heavy earlier, and now we got lots of snow again after a year. Yo, what's going on, everybody? How you guys doing today? So today I'm going to be doing a comparison video between my two cameras. I'm going to be doing a comparison between my current camera that I'm filming on right now, the Canon R700, and I'm going to be doing a comparison of my new vlogging camera, the Sony Cybershot HX80. I've had this camera for over 7 months now. I really like this camera. It's a really good vlogging camera. And and so today I just want to do a quick comparison of both cameras. I'm going to be showing you guys like a comparison and like how they, and the quality and how they look like in various scenarios. Just a quick comparison. I don't want to do anything too long. And yeah, without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so now I'm currently vlogging on my vlogging camera that I've had for a couple months. So I wanted to actually compare them both because they actually have some similarities, and that's actually the reason I got this camera, because it has similarities to my Canon R700, which is a camera that I already like. So let's go ahead and actually show you guys. Let's start with the side-by-side comparisons. Alright, so now we're doing a side-by-side comparison. As you can see, the Canon R700 is on the left and the Sony is on the right. So already I'm noticing a pretty massive difference. The Canon actually makes the lighting look a little bit more blue, and the Sony is kind of has a bit of brighter, it makes it look a little brighter, not as bluish. It looks like kind of how it looks like normally. So there is already a big difference here, the blue tint on the R700. But not to say it looks horrible, I actually really like it. The mics, of course, sound a little different. It's mostly where they're very similar, kind of, is on the outside. And once you're in kind of in low lighter situations, then there is a bit of similarity between the two cameras. So this is a side-by-side again. I'm just gonna show you guys movements around and outside in the snow. Show you guys. I decided to film today to pick today to film because it's snowing. So as you can see, I'm gonna be switching. As you guys probably already heard, I'm switching between sounds every couple seconds. And let me show you guys now a comparison like in the mirror. So now once we kind of move towards the mirror, you can see a little bit of similarities, a bit sort of in the lighting. I give it again that the Sony makes it look a little more like realistic, and the Canon gives it a little bit of a weird color. But as you can see, this is the Canon on the left and the Sony on the right. So the Canon is like a camcorder, which you could use for vlogging, particularly if you really wanted to. And I mean, that's what I did for like 3 years. But that's why I switched over to the Sony that I have right here right now, because you can actually, it's more like a point and shoot meant for vlogging. So both of these do have flip around screens, so it's a little different on both of them. I'm gonna switch it on the Canon like that. That's how you can switch it. Whoops. That's how you switch the split around screen. And with the Sony, you just do that. So they both do have flip screens, and they work very differently. But you can turn it around to see yourself just like that. And it is pretty good for vlogging. But nowadays I just use my Canon for normal videos. And but it is nice to know that the Sony one also, if I want to use for vlogging, it does have a flip-up screen so I can see myself. And now we're gonna go ahead and do some tests outside in the snow, and we're gonna do a comparison with zooming and just lighting and all that kind of stuff. And towards the end, I will do a little low light test and compare how these cameras perform in low light. Okay, so now we're outside, and as you can see, it did snow. So already I am actually seeing a pretty massive difference in quality actually. So again, the Canon actually gives it a bit of a bluish effect, while the Sony actually makes it look more like how it really looks. And the settings, I didn't change any settings. They're at their default settings. Everything is at their normal settings. Absolutely nothing changed, because I can't even do manual settings on this guy. That'd be, I'd have to use like a Canon T7i. But as you can see, we're just gonna walk in the snow, and see already the Canon again makes it look more blue, and the Sony makes it look more realistic. As you can see, this is what we got last night. It was already full of ice in the evening, and the snow happened overnight. I woke up this morning at like 8 o'clock and noticed that the snow hit. And as you can see, actually bigger differences than I actually expected. Usually in the videos, I kind of don't see a huge difference. Maybe in low light, I might actually notice a similarity. But as you can see, we're just walking along in the snow. Pretty nice. it's not supposed to get as bad as last year. So let's talk about zooming. So the Canon R700 just wins instantly, because you could zoom it as far as like 1,000 times, and yeah, it does get blurry. And another benefit that the camera has is that the Canon has optical image stabilization, which, as you can see, I'm going to try shaking it around. As you can see, there is a big difference. The Canon actually stays steady, but the Sony really doesn't. And I don't know if this camera has optical image stabilization or not. And so as you can see, we could zoom in. All right, let's zoom in at the same time. I want to see the zoom speeds, actually see which one goes. Oops, hold on. Let's restart that again. All right, here we go. And it looks like the Sony actually wins. But that's probably because I have the zoom setting on fast zoom, because normal zoom is way too slow. But in terms of normal zoom, the Canon wins, but you can actually speed it up. On this one, the Sony was faster just because I had fast zoom. But the Canon has further zoom, and something else to notice, we're gonna actually put them side by side, is as you can see here, the Canon has no retractable lens, but the Sony does. So what this basically means is that, as you can see, I'm gonna try zooming in like that, or hold on, like that. The lens moves around like that. With the Canon, doesn't really do that because there's no retractable lens. So another factor to take into account is that, you know, they could make the Sony more breakable, especially if you drop it and it lands on the lens. So with the Canon, I can't say the exact same thing. But let me go ahead and actually switch over to face view and show you guys my face. Alright, so this is me outside, and again, clearly I think the Sony actually already sees a massive difference and improvement over the Canon. And yes, it's pretty cold. I warmed up, or make sure I keep myself warm. And as you can see, the Canon again makes it a little bit blue, and the Sony makes it look more realistic. You guys might hear wind noises, because another benefit that the Sony has is the Sony has wind noise reduction, which I don't think the Canon does. So basically, you can still hear the wind in the Sony, it's just not going to be super strong. And with the Canon, if there is wind right now, you guys are probably hearing it right now pretty strongly if there is wind. So already there, the Sony wins. And as you can see, man, I'm freaking freezing, dude, and most of my arms hurt from holding both cameras, especially on the tripods. But actually, I want to do another test. I want to run around with these cameras and see how exactly it's going to pick up the wind. All right, I'm starting all the way here, and I'm going to run. Let's run all the way to the very end of the patio. Let's see, whoa, how the wind will sound on both cameras. Run all the way to the very end of the patio. Let's see, whoa, how the wind will sound on both cameras. I can feel it all. I can feel it. I can feel the wind. So I would have to actually hear that, but in my best guess, the Sony probably won there because it has wind noise reduction, and I don't think the Canon does. So that's running noises. I'll figure that out later on when I test the audio and see it out. But actually, I'm gonna do a zoom. I know I did a fast zoom test, but let's see which is clearer in terms of actual zoom. All right, with the Canon, so it's zooming in a little slow. So it does stay a little blurry at first, but then it goes back clear. And you can zoom 1,000 times at the max zoom, so you can see all the ice. So it's pretty stable also. So that's the nice thing about the Canon, is that it does have optical image stabilization, even when it's zoomed in. So let's try the Sony. Okay, now let's try it with the Sony. So it's blurry, but it does focus. It is a little shaky, as you guys can tell. I'm trying to keep it as stable as I can. Okay, in terms of zoom, I think the Sony actually gives it more clear when you zoom in, at least comparing to the Canon. Here, I'll put a side comparison right here. And as you can see, there is actually a difference in terms of clearness. I think that the Sony gives it more clear, but it is more shaky, and the Canon does have optical image stabilization, so I do like that. So it is pretty shaky with the Sony, but it's more stable with the Canon. So I'll kind of give this result the outside test. I'll give it more of a tie, but probably the Sony had a couple more points in terms of some bigger advantages. Okay, there is one other test I want to see, and that's in terms of loud noises. I want to see which camera can pick up the noise louder, and well, depending if you want a loud noise. If not, let's see which will pick it up more. or which one will be quieter. So I have here my dog's bowl of water, and I'm gonna try to drop it down to the ground, and I'm gonna see which will pick up the noise louder. And I remember the last time I tried dropping this in the last snow vlog, it made a pretty loud noise. So I want to see which is gonna make more heavier noise. So I'm just gonna have it from a distance and let it drop. Trust me, it's louder in person, but I just wanted to see which camera picked up the audio loudest or quieter. We'll see, depending on if you want loud noises or not. But in most cases, probably not, because if you're filming something, you don't want to hear anything loud, especially in the background. But I mean, this was close up, but I just want to see which will pick it up more. So even if whichever camera picked it up the quietest or picked it up quieter, might mean that any loud noise in the back that you can hear in the background while you're filming probably won't be heard that much on the camera that picked up this loud noise quieter. Oh man, I'm freezing, dude. It's actually freaking cold. I'm not even kidding. Okay, this is the closest I can get it to low light right now, just by closing all the windows in my room. So I think in terms of low light, you can actually see a bit of similarity, sort of, in terms of like how it picks up the bit of the dark. But I feel like in this case, the Canon is a little bit brighter, so I might have to give this shot to the Canon. In the mirror, yeah, I think the Canon is picking it up more brighter. Well, in here, it's the Sony because you kind of get up close, but in terms of low light shots, I think I mean, the Sony isn't that much darker, but I think I might have to give this win to the Canon, to be honest, in terms of this one. Alright, now how about autofocus? That's another important factor when it comes to choosing a camera, especially if you're focusing on one thing from the other. You want to make sure that, you know, they both have good autofocus, because, you know, you don't want slow focus. So let's start with the Canon first. Focus on my hand. Okay, right away. Instant focus. It's actually pretty right away it focuses. Let's try it again. There we go. So actually focusing on my hand takes a little while, but once it focuses back to me, it's almost instant. Now let's try the Sony. Let's focus on my hand. Okay. Almost instant. So you can see it's literally less than a millisecond it takes back to focus. So I'll put them side by side here so you guys can actually see the similarities. And in terms of autofocus, they're about the same, honestly. Nothing too different. Alright guys, so that's going to go ahead and wrap up this video. So I'm on my webcam now and my mic because I want to actually take more advantage of using that. So what's my final verdict? Well, it depends. If you want something small, like something small to vlog around with, you can carry it around super easy, I would go for the Sony HX80. Or any vlogging point and shoot camera, but we're actually just talking about these two. But if you're going between both those cameras, I would pick the Sony HX80. It's much more compact. I think personally, the flip around screen is a little easier than actually the flip screen for the camcorder. But it's much more smaller and compact and easier to carry around in your pocket, definitely for sure. But if you want to move to something, let's say just a little bigger, or just something that you could also film like home videos also, which I mean both are good for, but if you want to go for something a little bit like bigger than the vlogging camera, you could go for the Canon if you really wanted to. It is this snow is dimensions, it's a little wide, and sometimes it's not super easy to carry around in your pocket or to just carry around with you. Sometimes, or I mean it is easy, but it's not super simple as it is with the Sony. But in terms, and I use this also, let's say if you also want to use this for like, let's say normal videos like what I just did, and you don't want to go for something too big, this could work for you. They actually could work for you. Both, I'd say both cameras are pretty damn good. I'm just moving around. They're both pretty good cameras, and if you want to buy these, the best place I'd say buy them is used on eBay. Both go for around the same price of $200. Sometimes you can find this cheaper for $100 or $150. Average this is $200. So, but for most of the part, for mostly they're about the same price if you really are looking for them. And I hope this video helped you guys out. And yeah, that's gonna go ahead and wrap up this video, guys. Also decided to do it on the snow and take advantage of the snow that, you know, we'll probably only get this time this winter, and just record it. Not gonna do a whole vlog like I did last year. And yeah, guys, that's gonna go ahead and wrap up the video. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys later. Peace out.